What's up, everyone? This is Brad, and I kind of just wanted to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3 for a little bit. Not not necessarily a review. I used to really be into reviews, like numbered, scored reviews on things, but I don't know. I don't even know so much that I've gotten older. I guess it's just so much that I don't put value on. Oh well, this is a 9. This is an 8. Like I don't know. But I've played through the game. I've put about 50 hours into it. I'm doing side stuff. Not 100% sure if I'm going to actually do all of the side stuff or not because, if you've played any of the other main entry Kingdom Hearts games, doing all the side stuff can get to be a little, not necessarily stuff that you are thrilled about doing. But before I get into all that, since this is the first thing I'm posting on this YouTube channel, uh, just wanted to give a little bit of a layout of what I want to do here, I guess. Um, at some point, I want to cover video games, movies, certain TV shows that I'm into, not every big TV show, and sports, wrestling. I want to try to cover all that kind of stuff, but I really just wanted to put this together to just kind of, I don't know, put something out there and see how my crappy editing skills can do. Because, I'm running off of an older MacBook Air. My editing stuff is basically just going to be what's on the stock stuff on this, so I apologize that there's not going to be any video, like actual gameplay of Kingdom Hearts while I'm talking about it, but, that's why I'm making the first video, just to kind of get kinks out of the way. So, anyway, on to Kingdom Hearts 3. I have waited, I think everyone's waited a very long time for this, but we haven't had to wait a long time since Kingdom Hearts game. Like, Dream Drop Distance came out not too terribly long ago, and then we had the 2.8 come out on PS4. It's been 13 years since a main entry game has came out, though. So that's why most people are freaking out and saying it's been forever. And most things like this I won't say aren't worth the wait. A lot of times, like there was a gap between episode 3 of Star Wars and Force Awakens. And as much as I liked Force Awakens, and I think as much as people liked Force Awakens, it was a very safe movie. This is not a very safe game. This is literally the culmination of the entire story arc that they have been building since the first game came out. It's totally done with. Kingdom Hearts isn't done with. I don't want to go into spoilers about what happens at the very end of this game, but the main storyline of Xehanort, which is the main villain that got introduced in Birth by Sleep, that storyline is done. So, how did they do it? How did they wrap it up? Did they wrap it up well? Yeah, I think they did. I think that they did an excellent job of incorporating every character that has been through the series, whether it be members of Organization 13, whether it be former protagonists that you played in previous games. It feels a bit like, how Avengers Infinity War doesn't work as a thing by itself, but if you're up to date with things, it's one of the best things you've ever seen in your life. That's how I felt with this. You can play this without having played the previous games, but it's not going to have the emotional impact. Because they do a decent job of, well, first off, from the main menu, they have a recap, but they don't go into grave detail about the recap. It's a basic recap of things. And it does a decent job of getting you ready to play the game. But what I think they actually do a better job of is sprinkling in who these characters are, what they've done, what they mean to the story throughout the story. So, like Mickey or Riku or someone will have a line when a character is on screen of, oh, well, this is who this person was. This is why they're doing what they're doing. And, it may come off as cheesy to some, but it worked. It worked for me. Now, I will say, for the first time, I played this on an Xbox One X. And, yeah, traditionally a PlayStation series, at least for the main entry games, but I have an Xbox One X, I have a 4K TV. Rule of thumb is games look and run better on an Xbox One X, and I watched like the Digital Foundry video, and I watched a ton of coverage of this, and that seems to pretty much be the case. It was at a pretty steady 60 frames throughout the entire game. They have different options that you can change from a steady frame rate, which is 30, but that doesn't work great. It doesn't fully stay at 30. So regardless of what you're playing on, whether it's on Xbox One X, PS4 Pro, or the base systems, I would just keep it at the default option, because that's going to give you around 60 frames a second, pretty much around the board for this. And this is a great looking game. You can tell that they built off of Final Fantasy 13, or not 13. Hey, all three of the 13 games look really good. Final Fantasy 15 with its graphic engine and everything, and this is running off Unreal, so it's even like further down the hole of that. It is a little weird to see all like Goofy, Donald in a realistic setting like Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, we saw it in Kingdom Hearts 2, but the graphics are such a different level. I mean, that was a PS2 game. This is an Xbox One X, PS4 Pro game. It is a little jarring to see them in that kind of a real setting, but I think they pull it off really well. It doesn't look hokey. It doesn't look weird. I mean, it looks a little weird, but you know what I mean. So, if you're looking for just like a fast-paced action RPG, yeah, that's ultimately what this is. But it's very story-heavy. There's a lot of cutscenes. There's a lot of deposition on things. And if you're not into Disney, I would say that, this might not be a thing that you're particularly interested in. I have seen a lot of people who have not played the Kingdom Hearts games play this game and say that they love it. And I have seen some that look at it and they're just like, I'm just not into Disney. I used to be, but I'm just not into Disney anymore. And yeah, like Arendelle in this game, which is the world that Frozen takes place in, and all the characters from Frozen are in this game, which is cool that all of the voice cast from Frozen actually voices the characters. They're one of the only worlds that have the original voice actors doing their voices in this game, which is really cool, because there's a full-on, they do the Let It Go song, they pretty much do the whole thing. So if you're not into that, then yeah, I can totally see you being turned off by this game and thinking that it's lame. But I'm a sucker for Disney. I know that Frozen is one of those things that has took the world by storm a few years ago, but it took the world by storm because it's a fantastic movie. Like, at least that's my opinion about that. So anyway, this game's mainly about story, but if you don't care about the story because it is kind of confusing, you can play this game as just, hey, look at all these Disney worlds. It's cool to go fight beside, Mike and Sully from Monsters, Inc. It's cool to actually see Davy Jones rendered in this game in the Pirates of the Caribbean. And the Toy Story world is great. It's cool to see you fight alongside Buzz Lightyear and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're not into the story, I could see you struggling to get through this, because it's not a particularly long game, but you're looking at about 25-30 hours. So standard fare for a modern JRPG like that. If you want to go for like a completionist, like get the ultimate weapon, do everything, like I said, I'm about 50 hours in and I'm still working my way through that, so like 60 hours probably to do everything. So now we'll move on to like talking about the gameplay. It is on the easy side. It it's a bit like Kingdom Hearts 2 in the sense that it's not like it's super duper easy. It's not like you're never going to have to heal, you're never going to have to take potions and ethers and stuff. You are, but I think I maybe died one time in the whole game. And the first time I played Kingdom Hearts 2, I remember back in the day, I'm pretty sure the only time I died in that game was once to the final boss. And actually, I was so over leveled by the time I got to the final boss in this game, I honestly had no trouble with the final boss. So, and I played on normal. I didn't play on easy. So I do want to go through on Proud. I have heard that Proud is a little bit harder, but not too much. So whenever I play through the game again, I will play through on Proud. Just to kind of, I usually play through every Kingdom Hearts game a couple of times anyway. I've played through that first game probably like 15 times in my life, maybe even more. So, but the first game is legit hard. And I think a lot of people didn't like that. So Kingdom Hearts 2 forward, they kind of adjusted the difficulty. And honestly, the series is just kind of known for being a tad on the easy side outside of the first game. So it's pretty much par for the course. I've just seen some people complain about that. And it's like, well, outside of the first one, they're pretty easy games. So I don't really understand that as a legit complaint. But it is a thing. So just know that. And I liked the worlds in it. Most of the new worlds are from like Pixar. Some of them, like Tangled, isn't a Tangled is in this game, and it's not a Pixar. It's just straight up Disney, but it is, the CG. It's not cartoon. So you have Monsters Inc. You have Toy Story. You have Tangled. You go back to Olympus, Colosseum, so Hercules, which it's way different this time. Like it's a huge spectacle of a thing. Oddly enough, I had not seen the movie Tangled before I played this game. I watched it after, and they actually do a really good job of telling the story of Tangled in this game. I can tell that they really care about the characters and stories of Disney because it looks like you're watching the movie. I know that that's a stupid cliche thing to say in 2019 about a video game, but there's a video out there that I saw of a side-by-side comparison of the Let It Go scene from Frozen in the movie and the Let It Go scene from Kingdom Hearts 3. And they're almost parallel. It's kind of crazy how close they are. So, I feel like I experienced the story of Tangled really well through this. Now, after watching the movie, yeah, they changed some stuff up. Yeah, the villain of Tangled isn't really a villain that you can fight. So, of course, you don't fight the villain from Tangled. You fight, a huge Heartless. But, that's what it is. Tangled, the movie, wasn't really about, ooh, there's an evil villain out there doing evil villainous things. She is a bad person, but it's not, like a big bad, like a Davy Jones or a Hades or someone that you can actually have a legit fight against. So, back to the worlds. Yeah, those that I named. And one that I really loved was Big Hero 6. And Big Hero 6 is, again, animated. Is Big Hero 6 a Pixar movie? I think it might be. Let me just, while I'm recording this, with this long cord I have to my laptop, let me just literally get up and go to my Blu-ray collection over here. I have Big Hero 6. Hang on, okay. I have Big Hero 6 on Blu-ray. Is it Pixar? I don't think it is. No, it's not. So that's another movie that is like Tangled. It's computer animated, but it's not a Pixar movie. Okay. You can tell I'm very professional. I could have just edited that out, but instead, now let me just get up out of my stupid chair and go over and look at the thing. So, okay. But yeah, Big Hero 6 was very cool. They don't follow the main... They took a different approach than Tangled. They don't follow the main plot of Big Hero 6. It takes place after the events of the movie. So, which works. You know, it works for me. That's fine. If they ever make a sequel to Big Hero 6, I'm kind of hoping they don't follow the plot of this, because I will have already seen it. It makes sense what they did with it. I just really like the movie Big Hero 6, so I was really happy to see that represented in this game. And then, you know, you got the end game, which gets a little more Final Fantasy-ish with its worlds, because then you're dealing with characters coming back and dealing with Organization 13 and Xehanort and all that stuff. And I will say, unfortunately, Xehanort's voice actor was Leonard Nimoy, and he passed away before they recorded any audio of him for this game. And, you know, you can tell the person who replaced him is good. And honestly, I think that his voice fits the way the character looks a little bit more than Leonard Nimoy's did. But it was just a cool thing to have Leonard Nimoy as a villain for a major thing like this. Because, you know, Leonard Nimoy is always a good guy in pretty much everything he does. So in his character, like, he's the big bad of the Kingdom Hearts world. And that was just cool. And it would have been cool to have him finish out the saga of him, because like I said, the Xehanort saga is officially over after this game. So, but you know, that's just something you can't help. Okay, and I don't want to go into story details. I loved the story in this game. I thought they wrapped it up extraordinarily well. There were so many times when I had to just choke back tears. And sometimes I couldn't choke them back. Because, I mean, I've been with this franchise since the first game. And there are things that happen in this game that we have wanted to happen and hear from. Know what's going on with certain characters. We find literally all of that out. And it's amazing that a series that has been strung along for as long as it has, that they actually answered all of these questions in this amount of time. But, like, I don't want to go into details about the story. Just know from a long time series veteran, I'm extraordinarily impressed with how they finished the story up, and it'll probably be the best piece of entertainment story-wise and character-wise that I see all year. And that's including any other games that come out, any other movies that come out, any TV shows that I watch. So I want to end with talking about a little bit about the gameplay. I really like what they did with the different Keyblades in this game, which they basically transform based on, you have like a meter that fills up with arrows, and if it has 3 arrows, and then it fills up to a 4th based on how much you attack, the Keyblade can basically transform into something. So like the Keyblade from Toy Story transforms into like a rocket at the end of it, and it becomes this huge rocket hammer. The Pirates of the Caribbean one becomes like a huge wheel, and then it can transform again into a flag, and you just become super fast with it. And all of the Keyblades have these things. Like the Keyblade from the Hercules, you actually get Pegasus as its final form. So you hit Y or triangle, and you basically get on the back of Pegasus and ride around the area and shoot lightning everywhere, and it's very cool. And they actually incorporated Disney rides into this. So you have like a huge pirate ship. You have the cups. You have a blaster, like, you know, the thing you sit down and blast stuff, like from Lilo and Stitch. And you have like the Splash Mountain, not the Splash Mountain thing, but like I forget what it is. It's like a raft, not a raft. Oh my god, words are hard. It's like a thing that you 3 people sit in, and you're in the water, and like you bounce around everywhere with. I forget the name of it. Jeez, I used it so freaking much in that game, and I'm blanking. You can tell I didn't write anything down for this. I'm very, very professional with this. You know, the thing with the water that you sit in with 3 people? Yeah, that thing. They're very overpowered. And I have seen some complaints about that, and I think they're legit because they can happen. What happens is a random enemy or a random boss will just have a green circle on them, and it just slowly closes. And if you hit them with anything, magic, keyblade, whatever, or Donald or Goofy can hit them, you get the option to use that power up, and you can actually equip items, or not items, skills that you unlock as you level up that can extend. You have like, I think you start out with like 40 seconds you have to use it, and if you don't use it within that time limit, it goes away. But by the end of the game, I had like 90 seconds if I wanted to use that or not. And yeah, some of the bosses, you can stack a couple of things like that, like a couple of the Keyblade forms, a couple of the skills where like Donald or Goofy help you out, and then you stack one of those with it, and you're basically sitting on about 2 minutes worth of just overpowered attacks that you never even have to use magic or Keyblade for. You just hit a button and they just do it. So that definitely makes things easy, and I can see why people will complain about that. But they're totally optional. You don't have to use them if you don't want to. So, you know, they're big spectacle things that are ridiculous, but I thoroughly enjoyed using them.
So I also want to touch on the couple of the new things that they have in the game. They have cooking, which, again, to go back to Final Fantasy 15 reference, they do that in Final Fantasy 15. And they actually have Remy the rat from Ratatouille, and he actually is the person you go to do all the cooking with. But you can actually buy dishes later on in the game, and you know, honestly, that's an easier way to do it. There is an achievement to get a perfect, because you have to go into his restaurant, and you know, just like in the movie, he gets on your head and you have to cook the food, and there's an achievement or trophy to get the best rating that you can on all the dishes, and that can, you know, that can be a little bit of a thing. So, but it's cool because what it does is it basically does the thing that it does in Final Fantasy 15. It can up your HP, your MP, your damage, gives you better shielding, you take less damage, you know, whatever. And you can basically eat a full course meal. So you can do an appetizer, entrees, desserts, whatever, and you can eat them all at once and have a meal, and it can last anywhere from 15 to 30 to 40 minutes kind of thing. So I always did that before a boss, and it did help. So, and it's cool that it's in the game, and you're constantly collecting ingredients, and oh my god, when you go to areas in the game that there are ingredients, they will constantly talk to you about that there's ingredients there. Donald is just, oh my god, it becomes a bit of a thing. It's one of the things that got on my nerves so badly. Like, I wanted to just avoid ingredients because Donald wouldn't shut up about the stupid ingredients. But anyway, that's in the game. And they also added a feature where you can upgrade your Keyblades. So in previous games, you just kind of got the new Keyblade and the stats on it were the stats. Well, now you can upgrade each Keyblade. Now, you have to have the materials to do it, and that can kind of become a thing when you want to fully upgrade them because they can become a little rare, but as long as you're getting treasure chests, and you can eventually buy most of them from the Moogle shop, so it becomes not that big a deal towards the end of the game when you want to upgrade whatever Keyblade you want to upgrade. Going for the ultimate weapon can get a little much. I'm actually still doing that. There's one that there's a certain material in the game that there's only 7 of, and you have to have all 7 of them to make the ultimate weapon. And, you know, just turns into the normal Final Fantasy-ish thing of getting the ultimate weapon, and you got to do a bunch of crap to do it, and it kind of becomes annoying, but if you want the thing, you got to do the stuff to get the thing. So anyway, one of them, you buy some stuff at the Moogle shop, and every once in a while you get a postcard which the postcards have been a thing in the game for forever, and you put them in the mailbox, and you basically get a reward. Well, one of the 7 pieces of material you need to craft the ultimate weapon can only be gotten that way. So basically what you have to do is you have to save scum and just buy the stuff, go get a postcard from buying stuff. What I normally did was buy like 20 potions, and that'll normally always get you one, and that's pretty cheap. And so you go save, load back in, turn the postcard in, or turn 2 in, however many you have, and if you don't get it, go back to the title screen, load back in, and then I've watched a couple of videos, and apparently that's the fastest way to do it and the most efficient way to do it. And I've spent a few hours trying to do it. It's the final one that I need, and it's just a bit of a grind, but that is the thing. So if you want to get the ultimate weapon, it has the most strength, most MP of any weapon in the game. It's why it's the ultimate weapon, and you get the ability to craft Donald and Goofy's equivalent of the ultimate weapon. So I think it's cool that they added that. It'll probably be more of a thing if you're playing on Proud mode, because playing on Standard, you kind of just tear through things once you hit about level 50 for the rest of the game, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's cool that they added that in the game.
So overall, I can't think of a better way for this game to have closed out how it did. It had so much riding on it. This isn't just like... While I was playing it, it's one of those things that while I was experiencing it, I knew I was playing something important. I knew I was playing something special. I knew I was playing something that I won't experience again for at least the next couple of years. Probably the last time I felt this way was playing Metal Gear Solid 5. Yeah. Probably. Because like Zelda Breath of the Wild was a new take on Zelda. It wasn't the culmination of something. Like this and Metal Gear Solid 5 were the culminations of things. Like things ending. And possibly new things beginning. There is a secret ending to this, and it's based on these things called lucky emblems that are spread across all the worlds. It's basically a Mickey Mouse symbol. Because it's a modern game, so just like in Final Fantasy 15, you have like a phone, you have a gummy phone, and you can take pictures with it. You can hold up to 100. There's an achievement trophy to get 50 pictures. And the secret ending is based on how many of those lucky emblems you take and what difficulty you're on. If you're on the easiest difficulty, you have to find all of them. Standard, I think you have to find half. And then if you play on Proud, I think you have to find like 25% or 30% of them. So, and the secret ending, I saw some people complaining about it. I get why you're complaining about it, because it answers more questions than it answers. I do not want to give away even remotely what it even kind of is about. But if you don't unlock the secret ending, I would highly suggest going and watching it on YouTube or something, because there's a key character that you will not know what happened to that character if you do not see the secret ending. So I'll say that much.
And it's basically a thing of
Kingdom Hearts is not over. Like I said, the Xehanort Saga is, Kingdom Hearts is not. I don't know where people got the initial impression that, well, Kingdom Hearts 3 is ending. I can't believe the whole series is over. All this. Like, no.
The series isn't ending, but the initial story that they started is ending. Like, there's still going to be more Kingdom Hearts games. It's too big of a franchise to not do that. But anyway, that kind of gets into videos on the internet and leading into spoilers.
Apparently, we're in the mindset of, well, if it takes place within the first couple of hours of the game, it's not a spoiler. Like, well, no, it is. The only way that it's not a spoiler is if they have, one, showed the stuff in coverage before the game came out, or two, they showed it in like trailers. If they didn't show it in either one of those, yeah, you're showing stuff that people haven't seen before, so technically that is a spoiler. There were so many videos of, oh, here's the first 2 hours of Kingdom Hearts 2 or Kingdom Hearts 3. And it's like, well, I don't want to see that. Now, based on the end of 0.2, you know the first world that they go to in Kingdom Hearts 3. But if you didn't play 0.2, you might not know that. So, I don't know. It's a whole thing. It bothers me. Like, a lot of video games to me, you can just go head on into and don't worry about watching stuff. You can watch stuff and, spoilers, like, whatever. But a game like this, I would avoid watching some stuff unless you just genuinely don't care about being spoiled of things. So okay, I highly recommend it. If I graded stuff, this would get the highest grade. So it gets the highest recommendation that you can possibly get for a video game, at least in my opinion. So yeah, that'll about do it for this video. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, about 30 something minutes into this, and if you played the game, I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't played it, I hope that you'll give it a shot. I mean, it's a big name. It's a bit intimidating to get into if you haven't played the others, but it's really fun. And yeah, in my opinion, it'll be one of the best games of 2019. So, again, my name's Brad. Thanks for listening, and I hope everyone has a good day. Later.